All right, race fans, welcome to TurnLeftTV. Be ready for some high-speed action tonight. Step on the gas. All right, race fans, welcome to Watkins Glen International. This is TurnLeftTV, and I'm your host, Heath Johnson. Sim Racing Mania heads to Watkins Glen. 60-minute race of that 2020 Sim Racing Mania IndyCar GT Series season. It's race number 8. We're winding this bad boy down. Who's going to take home the victory at this very, very challenging road course? Points battle is heating up, and this could be a big one. Hang on, boys and girls. This is TurnLeftTV, and this is some IndyCar racing headed your way. Well, some great road course action in store for you tonight at Watkins Glen. Should be a fun one. Hang on, boys and girls. It's about to get wild. All right. Hey, thank you so much for coming in and joining me here on TurnLeftTV. Greatly appreciate your patronage. So right now these guys are in the qualification session. This is Watkins Glen International. Great road course located in Watkins Glen, New York. I'm your host, Heath Johnson, and the commentator, the broadcaster, and the guy you want to beat when things are going wrong. Should be a great race tonight. Thanks so much. This is round number 8 of 9 rounds, so we're winding it down. Next week we have the Indianapolis 500, and that will be a massive crowd on that one, no doubt. And guys are getting their qualification laps in. Some guys are hitting the wall. We'll take a look at the track here at Watkins Glen. This is the 3.4 mile or 5.4 kilometer layout with the boot. 11 turns, great road course. Not only for Indy cars, they do some IMSA racing on this course, and they also do some stock car racing on this course as well. So a lot of racing going on here, different forms of racing, and a great road course. About 5 minutes left here in the qualification session. Take a look at the standings here coming into tonight. Thomas Gowon with a 10-point lead over Michael Brooks. Colin Madiak in third. Paul Holt fourth. Cliff Vandeven is fifth. Fabio Zerbato, Lorenzo Capellini, Rory Martin, Giacomo Lapadula, and Riccardo Morelli rounding out the top 10. Those are the point standings coming into tonight. want to thank you so much for joining me here on the YouTube channel. Peace to everybody. Hope everybody's behaving themselves and staying safe, staying sane, staying well fed, and keeping up on some sim racing. And hey, thanks so much for coming in. And if you'd like to subscribe, please hit that subscribe button. You can share my videos with all your friends. Please hit the thumbs up. Let me know you were here. And if you'd like to make a donation, you can click on the link up in the banner of the channel and make a donation straight through PayPal. Got a great race for you tonight, and I'm excited. Watkins Glen, always an exciting track. And with the points battle heating up, I would imagine this is going to be a pretty intense race. Speaking of intense races, we got a great one coming up on Friday with a High Octane Racing League Bushwhacker Series. 60 laps from Pocono, the Tricky Triangle, race number 4 in that 2020 summer season. So points battle's heating up there too, and we've had 3 races, 3 different winners. Will we have a 4th? You're going to find out by tuning in this Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time right here on TurnLeftTV, live Pocono Raceway in the Bushwhacker Series. Take a look at our side-by-side, make sure that's working. Looks like it is, so that's good news for me anyway. Also, you can support me by going down in the link in the description of this channel, that Help Me Out link, and following that to the Fanatec website. Give those guys a look if you're interested in getting some racing equipment and considering Fanatec. Please follow that link, and that would help me out here at TurnLeftTV. You can follow me at Facebook, TurnLeftTV1, Twitter at TurnLeftTV, and then there are my 2 Discord addresses there. If you'd like to contact me through Discord, more than welcome to do so. A good side-by-side view we got going on here for you tonight. If you're interested in some comics, please visit ziacomics.com, your nerd headquarters. They got action figures, comics, games, you name it. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Some great stuff going on from ziacomics.com. Take a look at the session results here in the qualification session, or the practice session. Oh no, I want qualification. Let's flip it over to qualification. Are we done? Not quite. Got a few guys there, it looks like still needing to qualify. So got about a minute left. I was excited, man. I was wanting to get this baby going. Little chat session going on. Paul Holt, Pim Van Ark. How about that? Pim Van Ark. Haven't seen him in a long time. Good to see him in. Givaldo joining us in here as well. Good to see Givaldo in here as well. That's awesome. So we got about 17 or so seconds left in the qualification session before we kick this bad boy off. So should be a great race tonight here at the Glen. A little Watkins Glen action for you headed your way tonight. So it does look like we are now. We'll take a look at the results. We got those bad boys in. Lorenzo Capellini will start on the pole with a minute 20.307, 120. I don't know what that, what's that even mean, man? Fabio Zerbato second. Thomas Goam starts in the third position. Michael Brooks fourth. Colin Madiak fifth. David DePoli sixth. Cliff Vandeven seventh. Giacomo Lapadula eighth. Jos, no last name, Jos. Qualifies ninth. I don't even think he's racing, actually. Rory Martin qualifies in the 10th position. Dennis Vandeven 11th. Lorenzo Finetto 12th. Dan Richter 13th. So it looks like we've kicked us over to warm-up. 10 minutes in the warm-up session. Nitro Toga joining us in here in the chat. Look at all kinds of people joining us. Look at this. Dino. Baden. Oh, no, sick. Not good, not good, not good. Stay well. Drink fluids. Chicken noodle soup. Shot of whiskey. Hopefully everybody's okay here tonight. Dog is barking up a storm right now for me. Got some Cliff Vandeven fans in here. So 9 minutes in the warm-up session. Get this bad boy kicked off here the right way, huh? Looks like we got some guys maybe doing some changes there. We had 13 guys in the qualification session. It looks like we have 11 in the warm-up. See if we get the starting order correct. We'll try to adjust that there. Lorenzo Capellini will start in P1. Fabio Zerbato, P2. Thomas Goam, P3. Michael Brooks will start in P4. Colin Madiak starts in 5th. Cliff Vandeven 6th. Giacomo Lapadula will start 7th. Rory Martin will start 8th. Dennis Vandeven 9th. Lorenzo Finetto 10th. And Dan Richter shown 11th. Well, last week we had a great race, and Cliff Vandeven came away with that race win on the street circuit of Montreal. So a big race win for him, and helped definitely with his championship hopes. Lorenzo Capellini second, Thomas Goam third. Michael Brooks finished in the 4th position. Ricardo Morelli 5th. See Paul Holt. Cliff Vandervelden. Gotta remember his first name. My God, Fabio Zerbato 8th, Colin Madiak 9th, Rory Cameron Martin is 10th. We need to show first names. My heavens, man. Yos! No! Okay. I take the blame on that one. I'm saying Rick van der Velden. How about that? Well, the race schedule here, winding down the season, aren't we? Watkins Glen tonight, 60-minute race. Next week, we finish up the season on July the 14th at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The Oval, baby. 200 laps, the Indy 500. Should be a great, great race, man. I got to get in shape for that one. That's going to be crazy. I don't have a colleague to let me go to the bathroom. My heavens. Just a one-man show here. You got about 4 minutes left here in the warm-up session. Thanks so much for joining us. Apex modding team rolling in. The Apex modding team has done a fantastic job in putting together this mod, but also, you know, this season has been sort of almost a testing for the mod as well, big test for the mod, and you know, they've been very responsive at making some changes, you know, camera angle changes and so forth, camera view changes, at least from my perspective. So I've greatly appreciated that. And looking great, man. Shaders look awesome on the cars, and things are looking great. Handle well. Very, very fun mod here. So, NTT 2020 NTT IndyCar mod available on Steam. Oh, I know who I'm rooting for. I know who I'm rooting for. Look at that. Look at that. Well, I got to get the camera going in the right direction. There we go. Oh, yeah. Cliff. That's my choice to win the race. Not that I'm being biased or anything. So that's my choice to win the race. Cliff Vandeven will take home the victory here tonight. Get your picks in now. Can't call it halfway through the race like somebody had mentioned the other day. One of my other races I do. Just under a minute left here in the warm-up session, and we're going to get this bad boy going here at Watkins Glen. Guys getting some final things taken care of. I believe, since I'm not seeing anybody on the track. Take a look at David DePoli here, getting a few extra feet of qualification. TurnLeftTV is better than Sky. I don't know. What's Sky? Is it like Sky News Network? All right, boys and girls, it's about ready to get going. I've lost my train of thought here. I'm trying to figure out what Sky is. About ready to get this baby kicked off here. Excited for this one. Watkins Glen, great track. Really not a really hard track to drive. Just the thing can get away from you in a hurry, so you got to be very cognizant of that, man. Just keep the thing between the lines, and you'll be okay. All right, boys and girls, here we go. Little Sim Racing Mania IndyCar GT Series season, race number 8. Again, running through this starting order here tonight. Lorenzo Capellini starting in P1. Fabio Zerbato will start in P2. Thomas Goom, P3. Michael Brooks starts in P4. P5, Colin Madiak. Cliff Vandeven is P6. Giacomo Lapadula in 7th. Rory Martin starts in 8th. In 9th, Dennis Vandeven. Lorenzo Finetto starts in 10th. Dan Richter is 11th. Actually, I think we've gotten one of those guys dropped out, so. Looks like they're doing a little restart here. Uh-oh. Somebody got kicked, as usual. My heavens, man. This game, huh? This game. Let's all breathe a sigh. Looks like a couple drivers crash out there on the switchover. Giving them a few minutes here to join again. We all know how that rolls, man. Anybody knows anything about rFactor 2 knows that it's notorious for little quirks, little bugs. Well, coming up on Friday, we've got a great one for you. Pocono Raceway, the High Octane Racing League Bushwhackers Series. Should be a great race. Race number 4, little Pocono Tricky Triangle on July the 10th. Bushwhacker Series Xfinity cars. Stream will start at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. 60-lap race from Pocono. Again, we'll take a look at the standings. Actually, this is the starting order. I don't want that. The season standings coming into tonight. See Thomas Goem with a 10-point lead over Michael Brooks. Colin Madiak 3rd. Paul Holt 4th. Cliff Vandeven 5th. Fabio Zerbato 6th. Lorenzo Capellini 7th. Rory Martin 8th in points. Giacomo Lapadula 9th. And Riccardo Morelli 10th in points coming into tonight's race. Don't forget to check out ziacomics.com, your nerd headquarters. Find them on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter if you're interested in some comics, action figures, games, all things comic related. Please give those guys a look. ziacomics.com, your nerd headquarters. Yeah, you got to wait on Cliff. He's my pick to win the race, man. You got to wait on Cliff to get back. He is definitely... It's my pick to win the race. You got to hold this baby up. He's almost back here, so that's good. Valerio Margarito stepping in the house. Hopefully he brought beer. And thank you for coming in. This is TurnLeftTV. I'm your host, Heath Johnson, and we got a great one for you here tonight. A little Watkins Glen action in the IndyCar, Sim Racing Mania style. Guys, a couple guys here getting some, taking advantage of this little delay here to get some extra practice laps in. But don't forget, next week will be the final week here in the IndyCar GT Series season. Indianapolis Motor Speedway, 500 miles, 200 laps. The Indy 500 on July the 14th. It'll be live right here on TurnLeftTV. You do not want to miss it. And crown the champion after that race. Well, I guess we're flipping it over here. Here we go. Sounds to me like we're going to get this thing going here, minus Cliff Vandeven. Oh, no, I got to pick another guy here. Got to pick another guy. So Cliff Vandeven got kicked and is not able to get back in the race. That is not good. Not good for me. Not good for him. All right, Lorenzo Capellini is P1 now. Fabio Zerbato P2. P3 will be Thomas Golom, Michael Brooks P4, Colin Madiak P5, David DePoli P6, Giacomo Lapadula P7, Rory Martin P8, Dennis Vandeven P9, and Lorenzo Finetto, P10. All right, boys and girls. Who's going to take home the victory now, huh? I had Cliff. Oh my God, Paul Holt is blaming it on me. I had Cliff. He got kicked, and now I'm getting blamed for it. Jinxed it. What a bummer, man. What a bummer. You know, one of the favorites there to win this race kicked from the server. So well, we got 10 drivers here. Lorenzo Capellini will lead the field to take the green flag. Got to do a little adjustment there on the starting order. 2 wide starting order, of course. Turn 1 is going to be an absolute madhouse. Absolute madhouse there going into turn 1. So here we go. We got a pile-up back there in the back already. Some guys coming around. Giacomo Lapadula, I think, came around. Take a look and see what happened to him. Oh, contact right there coming out of the turn. Oh, and he spins hard into the wall. Does not even get to the start-finish line. Dennis Van de Ven also coming around here, so this is on the start. Dennis Van de Ven a little bit too much through the turn and comes around, and you see Giacomo Lapadula coming around. Wow. Well, Lorenzo Capellini, the race leader. Thomas Golom is second. Colin Madiak third. Michael Brooks is fourth. Now guys are going to start maybe making some passes here. Take a look at Rory Martin as he makes a pass on David DePoli into the turn. So Rory Martin moving up now in the 5th position. David DePoli here having a battle with him, huh? He's not willing to give up that spot. David DePoli all over the back of him. David DePoli wants that spot back. He is looking for an opening, man. Long race, David. Settle in, you'll get it. Take a look at Lorenzo Finetto. Now Fabio Zerbeto's come around. Lorenzo Finetto goes by, so Fabio's picked up a spot there. Lorenzo's picked up a spot. We'll take a look and see what happened to Fabio here. And he just hits that curve just a little bit wrong there, that turn. And the thing comes around on him. He makes some contact with the inside wall. But gets it straightened back up. Good side-by-side action there. David DePoli and Rory Martin still having a battle there. I think David DePoli might have gotten that spot back. Take a look at this battle here. David DePoli, he was itching to get it back around Rory Martin. Using that outside line and a little bit of muscle there. As David DePoli picks up P5. As Rory Martin now back to P6. Well, this guy's where he wants to be, out front. Got a 3-second lead on the field entering turn 1. Thomas Golom is in the 2nd position. Colin Madiak 3rd. Thomas, our points leader, coming into tonight. Colin Mediak just behind him, looking out of the back of Thomas's machine at Colin Mediak. You see Michael Brooks back there as well. So that is 2, 3, and 4. Not a good camera angle. Tell you what, man, Thomas got a little company here. Colin Mediak's got a run on him, so Colin Mediak looking to maybe get around Thomas. Thomas protecting the inside as maybe Colin going to try to do that crossover move. On board here with Colin Mediak. And ran that last turn down the front stretch, and he's trying to get a run here, but falling back just a little bit. So Michael Brooks here shown in the 4th position. He's the type of guy there, so it just continues to creep up as the race unfolds. So keep your eye on that 4th place car, Michael Brooks. Here you go, Colin Mediak giving it another shot. On board here with him. Look at that, TurnLeftTV! And so it looks like Colin Mediak picking up that spot, getting around Thomas Gowom here. We'll take a look at this pass. Little drag race into the turn on the outside as Colin Mediak using some muscle there to get around Thomas Gowom. So now P2 is Colin Mediak. Thomas back to P3. Fabio Zerbato, Lorenzo Fanatec here battling for position. See Fabio on the inside line and able to get around Lorenzo Fanatec. Does look like I got dropped from the stream. Nonetheless, we record these to a hard copy, so no worries. Just a little live stream interruption. Looks like. So it looks like we're back up and running, but the bad part about that is we got to redo a few things here, but hanging with us, appreciate it. You know how that works, man. I mean, everybody's on the internet at once, and boom, there you are. So we'll see if we can't get this tightened back up here. What a bummer, huh? That's how it works, though. As we're taking a look at Colin Mediak here, we'll take a look at our race leader. This is Lorenzo Capellini. Here, we'll take a look at our race leader. We try to get our chat back up and going. So again, sorry about that. That happens once in a while. We get to drop from the stream, and again, I always record these races to hard copy, so it's like we're back up again. As Lorenzo Capellini continuing to pace the field. Here's got about a little over a 4-second lead. Over P2, which is Colin Mediak. Thomas Gowom is P3. We'll take a look at David DePoli here. He's running in P5. He is about 11.5 seconds off the pace, off P1. Rory Martin now here in P6, 16 and a half seconds back. So David DiPoli, once he got back around Rory Martin, he is sort of driven away. Fabio Zerbato running in P7. Lorenzo Finetto running in P8. To about 26 seconds back. Take a look at Dennis Van de Ven. He is running in the 9th position. Just a little over a minute back right now. Lorenzo Finetto getting some word that he might have come around here. So going into turn 1 and a little bit too much speed. As he comes around, good news for him as he doesn't look like he makes any contact with anything. So that's going to be good news as he's able to get that car straightened back up and headed in the right direction. Take a look at Giacomo Lapadula here running in the 10th position. Remember, he had a big incident on lap 1. And had a lot of damage here, so he has undoubtedly come down pit lane and gotten some service done on that machine. As Lorenzo Capellini continuing to lead the field, he has got a pretty substantial lead on the rest of these guys here. You see Colin Madiak coming by, Thomas Goldwam also coming by. There's Michael Brooks. And we've got a big gap here. There's David DiPoli. Rory Martin should be next, and again, little contact or a little close racing right there between Rory and Fabio. Lorenzo Finetto will be our next driver, I believe. There he is. So on board here with Lorenzo Capellini, who is leading the field into turn 1. And I think Lorenzo's strategy now, just hit your marks. Don't worry about any other cars. You don't have anybody else around to worry about. Don't worry about that time. Just continue to click off good lap times and you'll be fine. So he's got a pretty good lead here, 5-second lead over our second place car, Colin Madiak. Take a look at Michael Brooks here running in the 4th position. He's trying to close in on Thomas Goldwam. Tighten that back up there a little bit. As I see Thomas coming off track just a little bit as Michael Brooks can now start seeing him a little bit better out of the front of his machine. Fabio Zerbato here climbing up onto the back of Rory Martin here, trying to make a move. Oh, contact in the back of Rory Martin, and he comes around. Oh, my heavens. Now trying to get that car back out on track, so he's definitely going to have some damage as that car came around here. We'll take a look at this again. You see he's trying to make a move on Rory Martin, and then he comes back, and I think he just ends up getting into the back of Rory Martin right here. And comes around into the grass, no contact with the wall. But definitely going to be some damage there for his car. We're going on board here with him as he just gets into the back. I don't think he realized the braking that Rory Martin had made some braking a little bit earlier. Or broke a little bit earlier than him. Look at this, out of the back of Rory Martin's machine. And he's going to have a little bit of damage too, I would imagine. So Fabio Zerbato has one thing led to another. It looks like he might have come around again in turn one. And that car's all boogered up, and that thing comes around. Oh, man, and then hard into the wall. There's Fabio Zerbato, one thing leading to another there. They're starting to compound the problems. Just a damaged race car leading to more and more problems. So good 4-second lead. Oh, that lead has diminished somewhat for Lorenzo Capellini. So Colin Madiak here starting to chip into Lorenzo Capellini's lead somewhat. This is Colin Madiak here running in the second position. Have a good solid night. Here running in P2. We got a pretty tight battle here between Michael Brooks and Thomas Golem. Now, Michael Brooks has actually gotten around Thomas here. We'll see what happened. So Michael Brooks really gets a good run here through the S's and makes that pass over Thomas Golem. Thomas Golem just behind him. So now Michael Brooks in third place. Thomas Golem is fourth. Thomas are looking on the outside, not able to do anything with him right now. As Michael Brooks has that spot and is going to protect it. So again, we'll take a look at this pass here. And Michael Brooks really had a head of steam coming around the turn. Gets a good pass on Thomas. And I think Thomas may have realized, gave him enough room, realized that he was going to be there. And now shown in P4. But that's some smart driving, to be honest with you. That is he realizes that Michael had a good run on him, let him have it, and then start working on him here to maybe gain that position back. On board here with Thomas Golem running in P3. Doesn't want to overdrive this car, just wants to concentrate on hitting his marks, and then maybe that guy in front of him will have some mistakes. Take a look at Lorenzo Fanatec here running in the 7th position. Oh, no! Oh, my gosh! Hard contact for Lorenzo Fanatec, and he's lost the front wing of that machine. So Lorenzo Fanatec comes around. Again, we'll take a look at this. He just gets a... Oh, man, hard lick there for Fanatec, and he's lost some parts and pieces to that machine. Definitely lost that front wing. And he's going to have to come down pit lane to take some service. See Fabio Zerbato and Giacomo Lapadula having a battle here. Lorenzo Fanatec here finishing up his pit stop here, coming back out on track. But now he's in P10. Again, taking a look at Colin Madiak here running in the 3rd position. Michael Brooks here in P2. Oh, no, and he gets into the back of another car and then comes... Oh, no, my gosh, he had such a good race going and now has damage. And I think he just got into the back of another car there We'll take a look at this. This is Lorenzo Fanatec just ahead of him, and just some braking, misjudging the braking, and he gets into the back of Lorenzo Fanatec and comes around and gets into the inside wall, and now he has got huge damage. Take a look out of the front of Thomas Golem's machine. Right there is Michael Brooks making contact with the wall as Golem now picks up that position. That's exactly what I was talking about here. Don't panic. Just keep yourself in line and hit your marks, and you'll end up gaining that position back potentially, and he does. You see him go by Michael Brooks. I think David DiPoli going to get by as well. This is David DiPoli, and he's going to end up getting by Michael Brooks as well there, as Michael Brooks trying to get that car straightened up, and he does, but he has got some big-time damage. Take a look at Rory Martin here as Michael Brooks comes down pit lane. Rory Martin now in P5. Lorenzo Capellini where he wants to be, and that is out front. I'll tell you what, Colin Madiak is on the move, and actually Lorenzo Capellini coming down pit lane, so a little surprising pit stop here. Lorenzo Capellini here at 38 minutes left making a pit stop here, and that gives the race lead to Colin Madiak. So Lorenzo Capellini on pit lane. Thomas Golem now, David DiPoli P2, P3 as Capellini taking some service. Finishing up that pit stop, coming back out on track. So he's been pretty much the class of the field, although I will say Colin Madiak has really done a good job of closing that gap before Lorenzo Capellini made a pit stop here. And I got to be wondering about Colin Madiak. Is he going to be coming down pit lane here pretty soon? Some of these other guys may be forcing his hand here. So taking a look at our race leader in that top left corner there, and then the guy who gave up the lead for is Lorenzo Capellini. Come down pit lane, so he's got a fresh set of tires, full load of fuel. 36 minutes left to go, just about 37. Thomas Golem here running in P2. David DiPoli just behind him in P3. Coming down the front stretch into turn one is Thomas Golem, and again David DiPoli here climbing up on the back of him now. See Rory Martin picking up a spot there as Capellini coming off pit lane. Now Capellini ends up getting this spot back just a little bit later in the sequence as Capellini on fresher tires. Using that outside line. Oh man, that was tight there. Good pass. So very tight, risky move to go on the outside, but ends up showing some muscle and picking up that spot. So Capellini back up to the fourth position as Martin back to fifth. Michael Brooks here having a battle with Rory Martin now for the fifth position. So Michael Brooks, remember he had some damage, came down pit lane, got that stuff repaired. Oh, some contact between Michael Brooks and Rory Martin. Rory Martin not wanting to give up that spot. Michael Brooks does a crossover move. Rory Martin goes wide and ends up giving up that spot. Now Michael Brooks picks up that fifth position as Rory Martin now back to sixth. That got a little dicey. That got a little dicey right there. And we'll take a look at this fight here again. They were clanking wheels, and Michael Brooks goes down to the inside and takes over that position. It might have ran Rory Martin there just a little bit wide through the turn. Again, we'll take a look at this. This is after the pit stop here. as Rory Martin made the pit stop, and then Michael Brooks all over the back of him, wanting to get around. Oh, man, he got in the grass right there. And this is earlier in that sequence. We're taking a look at that sequence there as Michael Brooks goes to the outside. Going to try that outside line, and a little clanking of the wheels down the stretch into the turn, and then a little crossover move. Well, off the track is Rory Martin as Michael Brooks ran him just a little bit wide. There'll probably be some discussion there as these guys will do a little post-race interview. You see Thomas Golom there coming down pit lane as now our new race leader is David DePoli. Excuse me, Colin Madiak and Thomas Golom both coming down pit lane, I believe. So David DePoli is the race leader. And again, there's Thomas Golom there coming down pit lane, and I would venture to say he's going to get some tires on that thing. Colin Madiak fresh off pit lane here now, picking up the second position as David DePoli coming down pit lane. So David DePoli on pit lane here. I think he's actually finishing up his pit stop. See David DePoli finishing up that stop, coming back out on track. Little battle there with Thomas Golom. Capellini is the race leader here. Back to the race lead after making pit stop here. We've got some guys cycling around. Take a look at Giacomo Lapadula trying to get around or pick up a spot there on Dennis Vandeven. Vandeven on pit lane now, coming back out on track. Take a look at Michael Brooks here, running in the fifth position. Colin Madiak here running in second. And again, that time, 3 seconds. Colin Madiak has tightened it up after pit stops. Well, he was closing in on Capellini. Capellini came down pit lane. Madiak took the race lead, then made a pit stop. And after the sequence of pit stops here, I would argue that he's actually cut that gap a little bit. David DePoli here up to P3 after making pit stops. So good run for him so far. Looking out of the back of his machine at Thomas Golom. David DePoli there really pushing it through the turn. You see that white smoke coming off that car. So he is really pushing this car hard here as he sees Thomas climbing up onto the back of him. Get out of the front of Thomas Golom's machine. He's running in the fourth position. Climbing up on the back of David DePoli here, running in third. And trying to hit his marks here. Being patient. You got 30 minutes left to go. Race is just about half over. You're just trying to be patient here as you close in on David DePoli here. Wait for a mistake as Thomas Golom there runs a little bit wide through that into that turn one. Now loses a little ground on David DePoli. Take a look at Rory Martin, again running in the 6th position. He's had some pretty good battles here this evening. Most recent one was he and Michael Brooks. Little scrapping going on. Right now running in the 6th position. Just behind him is Fabio Zerbato running in P7. A little tighter around that turn. You see the different strategies through that turn. Rory taking that turn a little bit wider, and Fabio going to the inside in that turn. And closing in on Rory Martin here is Fabio Zerbato. So tightening up here between Rory Martin and Fabio. This is P6, P7. Fabio Zerbato in P7 here. Around that final turn, and got a good run here down the front stretch. Has that inside and takes over that spot, so gets around Rory Martin. And that was just a good setup of a pass right there. He realized it was a great place to pass. See Rory Martin there using that overrun area in turn 1. Good setup and pass right there by Fabio Zerbato. That is a textbook move. Now, the strategy I think will be for Rory will be just kind of bide your time. Maybe you'll make a mistake, close back in, just hit your marks, race the track. So, don't overdrive this. A lot of inexperienced drivers will end up really trying to overdrive. Oh, no! He comes around, so he loses the back end of that car. Hope he wasn't listening to me. Hey, what's up there? Here we go. Got the shot of the plane coming through. As Rory Martin coming around here, we'll see what happened to Rory. Maybe those tires are starting to give out a little bit, so a little bit too much juice coming around that turn. Maybe got into the throttle a little bit too soon, and he comes around. Dennis Van de Ven also having some trouble, I believe. Oh, man, I don't know what happened there. Dennis, oh, my gosh. Oh, my, that is a hard lick there for Dennis Van de Ven. What in the world happened to him? That car just looked like it turned left right on the, he got over in the grass, and then the thing just goes airborne. That had to be a connection issue right there. My heavens, there are pieces everywhere. Go on board here with him. Watch this. I don't know what happened here. He just kind of jumps over and, he just gets into the grass. Oh. That thing is destroyed. Again, he gets into the grass right here, and then the back wheels get into the grass, and he's trying to correct, and the thing comes around, and then he is on for a ride, and then comes up off the ground, and then smacks that tire barrier. Another hard lick into the wall. So Dennis Van de Ven, tough break for him. This battle here between Rory Martin and Fabio Zerbato has tightened up a little bit again. Again, Fabio Zerbato running in the 6th position. Rory Martin running in 7th. That's not Fabio. Who is that right there? Colin Madiak. And then P2. There we go. Colin Madiak running in P2. Lorenzo Capellini continuing to lead here. We'll take a look at the somewhat mid-race results. Capellini at lap 24, a race leader. Colin Madiak second, David DePoli third, Thomas Gowon fourth, Michael Brooks fifth, Fabio Zerbato sixth, Rory Martin seventh, Lorenzo Finetto eighth, Giacomo Lapadula is 9th. Dennis Vandeven 10th. I think at this point there, Capellini just really going to have to beat himself if things are going to happen for some of these other guys here, because he is really in pretty good control, pretty solid control of this race. Good 10-second lead there for him. And we got some more pit stops here underway. Does look like Thomas Gomom on pit lane. Also, Fabio Zerbato on pit lane here. We'll take a look at Thomas Gomom is in P5. Taking some service on pit lane. Zerbato on pit lane too. Looks like Fabio has a little bit better pit stop there than Thomas. Thomas extended pit stop here, maybe getting some damage repaired on that machine. So definitely going to hurt him. He's down to P6 here, still on pit lane. Man, that is a ton of time on pit lane. As he's continuing to drop positions down to P7. So extended pit stop for Thomas Gomom. Capellini 12-second lead over Colin Madiak. David DiPoli running in the second position. David DiPoli third. Michael Brooks is fourth. Take a look and see what happened here to Thomas. Coming around the turn and oh my heavens, man. Hard lick there for him. You see him come around. Again, watch this, man. He came around the last turn and then loses the back end of that car. You see the back end coming around on him, and this is going to hurt. Oh, my gosh, that hurts. So Thomas Gomom there comes around, and a tough break for him. And Michael Brooks also indicating he might have come around too here. This is coming into turn one. And again, he misses. Oh, man, that thing snapped around on him there. That thing caught. He does a great job, though, really keeping it out of the wall. But that thing just snapped on him. Looked like he was losing the back end of this car, and then it just snapped back the other way. A good thing for him is he scrubs off enough speed coming up that hill that is the banking for that turn, and that keeps him from getting into the wall. That he is hard on the brakes, and this thing just going to snap around on him. Good overrun area there. Good amount of room for him. As he gives up those positions he fought so hard to gain, now back in P6. Capellini continuing to lead here with 21 minutes left to go. Hey, don't forget to join us on Friday with the High Octane Racing League Bushwhackers Series. It's race number 4, Pocono Raceway, a 60-lapper in that Xfinity Series. The Bushwhackers, it'll be live right here on TurnLeftTV at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Running in second is Colin Madiak. He's about 11.5 seconds down, but nonetheless pretty solidly right now in the second position. No reason to overdrive your car now. Just sort of maintain and maybe chip into that gap a little bit, but a good P2 finish would be definitely what he would need here in the championship. David DiPoli running in third. Again, another car there sort of out by himself as far as the grid is concerned. He's about 30 seconds down right now. 29.5 seconds, 30 seconds down. So nobody really around him. He's got pretty fair distance 18 seconds there before he gets up to the next driver, Colin Madiak. Fabio Zerbato is a pretty fair distance back as well, so you don't think anything to worry about for David DiPoli here. This is Fabio Zerbato running in the 4th position. Rory Martin here running in the 5th spot. And he was sort of been around Michael Brooks quite a bit tonight, but Michael Brooks had some issues getting into a turn and lost a couple spots here, so now back in the 6th position. Tell you what, man, Michael Brooks and Giacomo Lapadula not too far away from one another. Giacomo is been at 105 seconds back. 101 is Michael Brooks, so about a 4-second gap between the two of those guys. Take a look at that gap there between Michael Brooks and Giacomo Lapadula. About a 4-second gap there between the two of them. Giacomo trying to do what he can do to close in, and he is closing in a little bit here, I think. But also Michael Brooks closing in on Rory Martin as we speak. So we kind of skipped over Rory there. He's running in the 5th position. Take a look at that gap there. This is between P4, P5. So take a look at Rory Martin running in the 5th position. That ain't working right. Michael Brooks running just behind him in P6. About 3 seconds gap there between Rory Martin and Michael Brooks. Looking out of the front of Michael Brooks' machine here, trying to recover, close in on Rory Martin. And I'd say that battle there is got to get pretty tight here before the end of this race. Colin Madiak here taking the race lead again as Fabio Zerbato on pit lane. Lorenzo Capellini on pit lane there. You see Lorenzo making his pit stop as Colin Madiak now back to P1. He led a few laps there as Lorenzo Capellini had made that first pit stop. Capellini finishing up that pit stop back out on track. He is 22 seconds down now to Colin Madiak. Take a look at David DiPoli. He has that car now up to the 2nd position as Capellini had made that pit stop. Colin Madiak there running a little bit wide around that turn. Looking out of the back of David DiPoli's machine at Lorenzo Capellini, who is hounding him right now, closing in. And you know David DiPoli's got to be aware that Lorenzo Capellini's come back down pit lane, probably has fresher stuff here, as that is going to be a done deal, I think. Question is, how hard does David DiPoli race Lorenzo Capellini? And he gives him a lot of room right there. That is a smart move by David DiPoli. He realized that Capellini was fresh on tires there and a lot faster and gave him a lot of room. That is just a heads-up move by David DiPoli. Again, we'll take a look here. This is Capellini making this pass. You're going to see how much room Dipoli gives Capellini right there in the turn. And that is just, like I said, a savvy move by David Dipoli. And that thing right there, that will earn you points when it comes to racing with these guys. You're going to end up getting that back. Here, look at this. Michael Brooks and Rory Martin having a good battle. No conceding spots on that. He's going to make him earn it. Looking out of the back of Michael Brooks' machine at Rory Martin, and Michael Brooks had to earn that spot, didn't he? Take a look at this pass again. Setting him up here on the outside, and side by side, we've seen these guys swap a little tires, rubber there before. Started to say swap paint, but no. Swap a little rubber there. As Michael Brooks gets by. Look at that, Rory Martin there coming back. Says, no, can't do, buddy. I'm not going to let you have that spot. So Rory Martin using some muscle and then getting back by Michael Brooks. How about that, huh? That was a pass there. Going on board here with Rory Martin. He said, I can dish it out too. Going to take the high side in this turn. And then takes that spot right there. So Michael Brooks now has to concede and gets back to the 6th position as Rory Martin moves back up to 5th. Lorenzo Capellini going to take P1 again as David Dipoli, I think, is on pit lane. So David Dipoli making that pit stop. Actually, that's Colin Madiak. I don't even know what race I'm doing right now. As Colin Madiak here was on pit lane as Capellini gets by. I'm not sure what race I'm watching there. There you go. There's Colin Madiak. We were looking at that before as you see him finishing up his pit stop. Coming back out on track. So again, more battling here between the two. Oh, there's some contact right there. Contact between the two, more contact. Holy Toledo, and Michael Brooks comes around. Oh, no. Let's see what happened here. This is starting it off as Michael Brooks climbs up onto the back of Rory Martin here. Battle right there. Oh, into the side of Rory Martin. Oh, a little bit wide in the turn, Rory Martin, and finishes him off. He does keep it straight. That was a heck of a move. But I don't know, man. I tell you, got to look at this action again here as Michael Brooks has a head of steam. And going to swipe Rory Martin there a little bit. Oh, then more contact. I don't know, man. I got to think that Rory Martin's got to be a little upset about this. It looked like he moved. And he got sideswiped right there. Right here, we'll take a look. Oh, man. A little contact right there. And Michael Brooks comes out on the losing end of that as he comes around. Oh, no. It's going to be a busy chat after the race, that's for sure. Here with about 10, almost 11 minutes left to go. There's Lorenzo Capellini, pretty comfortable lead for him at 6.5 second lead. David Dipoli shown in the 3rd position. Zerbato was 4th. Rory Martin is 5th. Michael Brooks 6th. Take a look at Giacomo Lapadula running in the 7th position. That DHL sponsor machine. Lorenzo Fanatec coming down pit lane. Oh man, he hits the inside pit wall. So he made contact with the wall on pit lane. So Fanatec making a pit stop here. So now you see him finishing up his pit stop now in P8. Take a look at Thomas Golom here trying to climb back after hard contact with the pit wall. Pretty extensive amount of damage for him that he had to get repaired, and he was on pit lane for a long time. Dennis Vandeven here trying to climb back, and he had some problems early on in the race. He's just trying to get all the positions he can get at this stage. About 8.5 minutes left to go. He's running in the 10th position. Capellini's lead has diminished somewhat. Colin Madiak here starting to chip into that lead somewhat. He is just 6 seconds behind. Thing to do here now is just hit your marks. You just concentrating on racing the track. Don't really pay much attention to the time. He's running in the 2nd position. So Colin having a pretty solid night here. And again, that time is diminishing here, so Rory Martin and Michael Brooks here. Oh no, I have a feeling this isn't over between the two of these guys. As Michael Brooks gets by, picks up that spot, now reclaiming that 5th position. So Rory Martin and Michael Brooks, these guys have been at each other all night long. My heavens. And Michael Brooks here running in 5th. Oh, and he comes around. Oh, my heavens, man. He makes contact with the wall. And, man, he lost the back end of that car. And Rory Martin ends up capitalizing and getting back by. My heavens, now Michael Brooks going to lose another position. Again, we're going to go on board here with Rory Martin here as Michael Brooks just loses the back end of that car and ends up giving that position back. Giacomo Lapadula here coming around the turn and sees Michael Brooks, heads up move there to get to the inside and get around Michael Brooks. So Michael Brooks just lost the back end of that car, it looked like. As he came around the turn, we're going on board here with him, and he spins and smacks the wall. Hard lick for him. So he's going to lose a couple positions there. Lorenzo Finetto. Oh my gosh, that car just did not turn on him. It just did not turn. Somebody hit a piece there. It looked like that car just went straight into the wall. And then parts and pieces everywhere here, and a little contact right there. Thomas Golom here picking up a spot as Finetto on pit lane. See Finetto there taking some service on pit lane. He's got a pretty fair amount of damage he's getting repaired. Well, can Capellini hold on here? That time is diminishing in a hurry, down to about 3.5 seconds between P1 and P2. As we start to wind down this race, we got 5.5 minutes left to go, and I think if I'm Colin Madiak, I want this Lorenzo Capellini to have a little bit of trouble, maybe with some lap traffic, miss a few marks. But Capellini, I think his mindset has to be, let's get this time clicking faster. I'm sure he sees that Colin Madiak here is starting to eat into that time quite a bit. He has cut that time by half here in about 10 laps. Capellini also has Thomas Golom all over the back of him. Now Thomas shown in the 8th position, but that could play a factor here as he closes in on the race leader here, maybe trying to get around him, and that could affect his speed. So Thomas Golom just behind our race leader. Colin Madiak here trying to close in. That time down to 3.5 seconds. 4 minutes left to go. You got parts and pieces all over the track right now. Fabio Zerbeto on pit lane here late in this race. Also Lorenzo Finetto on pit lane. Capellini trying to hold on down to 3-second lead here with 3.5 minutes left to go. Looking out of the front of Colin Madiak's machine in that lower right frame, trying to close in on our race leaders down to 2.8 seconds, 2.6, so that time is clicking off. This could be a last lap pass, boys and girls. Capellini trying to hold on. He's got a little bit of lap traffic in front of him here now. Rory Martin in front of him, and this could slow him up a little bit. 2.6 seconds now. Is Capellini on board here with him as he goes down to the inside line. Rory Martin here, is he going to give him some room? Rory Martin gives him a lot of room here, lets him go, so that is good news for him. Now he's got a couple cars there as lap cars to act as a buffer. 1.9 seconds here, so a shad under 2-second lead for Lorenzo Capellini. Colin Madiak closing in. This could be a last lap pass. On board here with Colin Madiak as he looks ahead, trying to close in on the race leader. Time is running down. .2 seconds. We got 1:20 left to go. I think we're going to have another lap in us, and I don't know, man. Lorenzo Capellini, can he hold on here? I tell you what, he's going to have to make that car pretty wide. As that Colin Madiak here closing in. Looking out of the back of Lorenzo's machine at Colin Madiak. And again, this is tight here, P1, P2. Got a minute left to go, and I really think these guys are going to have to go another lap here. This coming around the... Yeah, I think these guys are going to have to do another lap here. This is the second to last turn. This is what, turn 10. Here's turn 11. So these guys are going to have to do another lap here. And, oh, Capellini makes a little contact with the wall coming off the turn. Capellini made a little contact, and that tightens it up here. Now a half a second. Capellini trying to hold on. Colin Madiak all over the back of him right now. Can he hold on? He's got one lap to do it. This thing is tightening up. Lorenzo, man, he is driving the wheels off that thing right now. Colin Madiak all over the back of him. Colin Madiak here on the outside, showing some muscle here. Is he going to be able to pull off that pass? Oh, he chops him a little bit, but Colin Madiak makes that pass. Colin Madiak passes Lorenzo Capellini. So last lap pass here. Colin Madiak now just has to hit his marks. He has got a 3/10, now 4/10, now a second lead. Capellini, man, he had a car with much better tires behind him. As Colin Maniac coming around the last turn. Colin Maniac is going to pick up this race win here at Watkins Glen. How about that last lap pass? My heavens, man. What a big, big pass for him. Got to chase them around to get a screenshot on these guys sometimes. Oh, now he's going to run into the other car. There we go. The Colin Maniac there gets a huge win, man. What a great, great last lap there. Last lap pass. That was an excellent, excellent pass as he got around Lorenzo Capellini. So Colin Maniac gets a big race win here with a last lap pass. So a great job to Colin Maniac there on getting that win, man. What an exciting finish that was, huh? We'll take a look at the final results here as we have our winner name up there behind that. Sorry about that. Colin Maniac picks up the win. Lorenzo Capellini, great run there, second place. David DiPoli finishes in third. Rory Martin battling back for a fourth place finish. Giacomo Lapadula finishes in fifth. Fabio Zerbato finishes in the sixth position. Michael Brooks, seventh. Thomas Golom finishes in the eighth position. Dennis Vandeven is ninth. Lorenzo Fanatec finishes in the 10th position. And again, a good run there for David DiPoli as he picks up that third place finish. He had a pretty solid car there. Just had some issues earlier on in the race, but was able to bounce back for a great finish. We'll see if we can't kind of get the tower view of it, I think. Not a great tower view. Forgot it, grazed it out. So we'll get up here and get in the chat session and get some guys on the horn, so to speak. And I would bet you that Colin's pretty excited about that. That was a great race win for him. That's the way you do it, man. You just set them up there, look for a mistake, and then look for an opening and be able to capitalize. And that's exactly what he did. All right. Wow, man, what a great pass there at the end, Colin. Congratulations on picking up the race win. What an exciting finish for you.
Thanks, Heath.
Hello.
Well, you had to be really paying attention to that time, knowing that you were closing the gap there as the time was starting to wind down. But would you say that maybe some lap traffic kind of helped you a little bit with Lorenzo having to deal with that, or what?
It was a factor in me passing on the last lap, but if there hadn't have been lap traffic, I may have passed him in a different area, or I may have been closer to him from the beginning because I had some lap car issues like earlier in the race. So I don't think it was too big of an issue. They got out of the way most of the part for Lorenzo, so I think it was pretty even who had the pace and who didn't.
Yeah, well, great race win there, and it seems like you've been sort of psyched about Watkins Glen in this rerun of this race. Talk about what it means to you. Talk a little bit about what it means to you to win it here at the Glen.
Watkins Glen's one of my favorite tracks. It's one of the tracks I've really started sim racing on, and it's great fun to race with these cars with the downforce. And there's a really nice flow to how these cars go through here if the chicane is cut, I guess. But it was just a great race overall.
Well, Micah Brooks, I gotta ask you, that battle with you and Rory there seemed to get pretty intense a few times late in the race. You bounced back a little bit, but had some late race trouble. Talk about that.
Hi, Heath. Yeah, my race was ruined through even before the Rory incident. I think Thomas had had enough, and I was battling with Thomas, having a good little fight. And I think Lorenzo Fanatec came out of the pits, and going into the hairpin in the middle of the lap, he broke so early. So I wasn't expecting that. I hit the back of him because he just broke stupidly early. Then I had to pit for that because I lost my front wing because of it. Then I didn't have enough fuel for the rest of the race anyway, so I was going to have to pit regardless. Then after that, I caught up with Rory, and we were side by side for the exiting the back straight. I was on the inside, and I gave him room to go on the outside. The very next lap, we did the same thing with the rolls positions reverse, and he just ploughed into me. And then he let me through the lap after, but my car was wrecked after that. And after that, I thought I was just going hell for leather, and I got a fast lap, I think, in the end. But yeah, I'm very angry, to be honest. Could have been so much better.
Well, there's a lot of drama there, but you did end up picking up a 7th place finish. So, I mean, most guys I think would have had a much worse finish than what you did in that position or in those circumstances there.
Well, it's just so frustrating. Colin did an amazing job today, so congrats to Colin for the win. But I think I could have maybe had a chance at a podium, depending on how the strategies played out. So it was just the first incident, especially, that I wasn't even expecting Lorenzo to break so early, and it just made me angry for the rest of the race. And then the Rory incident is just needless. And then I think I nearly had a moment with Davide near the end, but yeah, after that I was just driving angry. And I was going really fast, and I just kept on spinning because I was just so angry still. So I could have been so much more. Really could have been.
Oh, Fabio, you had a 6th place finish tonight. Talk about how your race went.
Yeah, I'm not very happy. I did my best to qualify in this. Oh no, I had first on oval. Okay, on road course it was my best qualified time, 2nd position, and but I had a bad start. It due to oversteer, but it was okay, no problem. I know that I had the pace. But unfortunately, after the last corner, Giacomo did a spin, and I was not able to avoid him and hit him. So I lose a lot of time on that. It's a race collision, so no problem. So I try to recover all the time. I know I had the pace, so come on. When I was close to Rory in the straight of the start line, I don't know why he decided to brake very, very early. He did a move to the right, so I said, okay, he want to defend himself. It's okay, and I stayed to the left. But he didn't move too much to the right. He stayed in the middle and then braked very very early, maybe 400 meters. Or 30, 150 meters. It's very early in the first corner because you can brake at 200 meters. So it was unexpected to me, and hit him at a very high speed. So that caused me the loss of of the race. I think that is the situation that caused the loss of the race, because I was able to recover all the time that I lost at the start, but after that crash it was not possible to do more.
Well, Thomas, you had a little trouble there with the pit wall. Looks like you lost the back end of the car coming off the turn, and then unfortunately the pit wall was there to collect you. And man, that was an extensive pit stop there you had to make.
Yeah, it was like 120 seconds. About the race, what can I say? It was. That was a mess for me. Worst race in series. That's sure. To be honest, it's hard to say anything about it. It was just like, I don't know if you have familiar with that. But after last Formula One race, Sebastian Vettel said that his car was like losing his rear all the time, and he was unable to drive this car. It was just like that. I was losing my rear, and all the time, all the race long. Probably it's the track that doesn't suit me. Because if I remember, in every car I struggled here. So what can I say? It's race to forgot. Now I'm thinking about Indy, which will be, I think, very interesting. And I think that the result of this race will spice up the competition in Indy 500.
Well, you mentioned earlier today that you would expect, maybe even close to 30 drivers there at the final race at Indy's, and that, I think, that many drivers, and obviously you don't have that many really vying for a championship, but they can really affect the outcome of this championship here coming into this last race.
Yeah, that's true. I hope just. I think the key to good result in Indy race will be to qualify at front, most likely in first row, and then we can just fight and drive our race. The important thing will be to avoid every incident. We know that many drivers on oval track will cause some incidents during the race. So I hope I will not be taking part in any of those incidents. But the biggest problem for me is that I have now 6 points lead over Colin, only 6 points. So with double points in Indy, it's very, very tight. It's like, for example, if Colin will be first and I will be second, I will lose my championship. So it's very hard to say who will be leading after the Indy, who will be champion. It's very hard to say.
Well, Colin, I gotta go ahead, man.
I'm gonna spin you out, Thomas. That's all that's gonna happen.
I should have talked over that, actually. I guess I want to get your feelings on coming into the last race of the season here, being at Indy. I would imagine, growing up fairly close to Indy, you're familiar with the track, and also I'm sure it's been one of those tracks you've been on a number of times. So talk about your feelings on this track coming up, Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Yeah, Indianapolis is actually it's a big part of my family. We've watched Indy cars for years and years, and my dad actually had the opportunity to go there and be a part of the first club to ever drive on the road course, and it was really, really cool to be a part of that. And it was really cool to go there and see the Indy cars and stuff. And it's one of those tracks that it's tricky, it's trickier than it looks, and it's something these guys really, really need to practice in order to have a good close race without any cautions. So, really looking forward to it if the guys can get in shape and get ready for it.
Well, I'm excited, man. I'm gonna have to do some. I don't know what I'm gonna have to do some prep there so I can sit at this broadcast seat for that long, but nonetheless. You guys will be working the wheel and turning some laps and vying for a race win and maybe a championship. Congratulations, Colin, on a great race win today. Last lap pass, very exciting. And a good race between you and Lorenzo Capellini there at the end. And good luck next week.
Thank you, Heath.
Yeah, one more thing I want to remind everyone that Indy 500 race will start 1 hour earlier than normal races. So I hope no one will miss it.
Oh, I'm glad you told me.
Heath shows up halfway through the race.
I think I told you.
Oh,
Is this practice?
Did. Exactly. All right, guys. Hey, good job tonight, and we'll see you next week at Indy.
Thank you, Heath.
Thank you, Heath.
See you at Indy. Take care, everyone.
All right, that's the crew joining us up here post-race. Colin Madiak gets a great race win here at Watkins Glen. And, good to see that little TurnLeftTV logo on the side of the car, too. Got to send a shout-out to him for that, so thank you so much. Greatly appreciate that support. It's awesome stuff. Young man hails from Ohio, not too far away from Indianapolis. So I'm sure this is one he definitely had next week will be checked off on his bucket list to win that Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Indy 500 next week. New York's not too far away either. I mean, really. You get the big state of Pennsylvania in between. Okay, all right. Okay, I got you. But don't forget, coming up to on not tomorrow, but Friday, we'll be at Pocono Raceway. 60 laps there in the High Octane Racing League Bushwhacker Series. A little Friday night stock car action in the Xfinity cars. It's race number 4 in that 2020 summer season, and it will be a great one. Little TurnLeftTV action for you starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Time this Friday. Race number 4, it's Pocono, the Tricky Triangle in the Bushwhacker Series. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming out and checking me out here on TurnLeftTV, checking the race out. Sorry we had a little connection issue early on. That happens sometimes. It seems like it's happened much more with folks being inside a lot, during the trials and tribulations we got going on right now. But nonetheless, we got a full copy. We'll get uploaded. Uncut copy will get uploaded later today. But again, thank you so much for coming in. I greatly appreciate you being here. And congratulations to Colin Madiak on a big race win for him. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so. And then also, if you'd like to make a donation, you can make a donation through the link in the banner of the channel. Just click on that link and you can make a donation straight through PayPal. Please hit the thumbs up button. Let me know you were here. And again, thank you so much for coming in. Greatly appreciate it. So a big win for Colin Madiak here in the IndyCar GT Series season, Sim Racing Mania style. And I know he was really looking forward to picking up a win this season, and a good one for him. He was solid at Watkins Glen when we came here before as well. So I tell you, man, clicking on all cylinders there coming up to finish off this season. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight here on TurnLeftTV. Thank you so much for coming out. In the meantime, we'll check you later. I'm out of here.